Get ready to be inspired. These extreme bathroom makeovers take dull, uninspired spaces and turn them into amazing, budget-friendly sanctuaries. I'll show you with some hard work and some clever DIY hacks that you too can get the bathroom of your dreams. So let's dive into the ultimate bathroom glow-up compilation. Let's get started. Now I am sitting on the throne, oh yes, the throne of Boringville. And we are gonna be doing a transformation on this tiny bathroom. It's gonna be very dramatic and we're gonna be doing it on a budget, so let's get started. It's demo time. So let's start with the toilet. This is by far the most glamorous thing I've done on this channel yet. Pink gloves will make it better, right? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. What I didn't realize as an adult, how many times I would say lefty loosey or righty tighty. We're ready to remove this toilet, and honestly, I'm scared. I don't want to see what's underneath this toilet, but we got to do what we got to do for a beautiful bathroom. Rock it back and forth is what I've been told, and then lift it off. All right, it's not as bad as I thought. I'm trying to unhook the hoses, and it's a very tight fit. Good thing I have small hands. A little bit of water, but nothing crazy. Okay, how do I unhook the drain? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. I hope I know what I'm doing. I'm not a plumber, I just play one on TV. It's coming out now. I'm gonna have some mopping up to do. This toilet paper holder was way too far away from the toilet, especially if you have kids. We made something to replace it in my bathroom IKEA hacks episode, but first we need to get rid of this behemoth of a toilet paper holder. Honestly, I was completely expecting this. I figured there was gonna be some massive damage, so I am prepared. We're gonna take this piece of scrap wood, stick it in this hole, and then kind of hold it into place while we drill in some screws. Okay, so that is nice and solid and it's gonna give us a good foundation. So we're gonna just place this in here like it was meant to be, seriously. And we are just gonna screw this into place. All right, so now we have like a somewhat flat surface that we can apply this to. This is just a patch that we are gonna place over the top. And then we will fill this in with some joint compound and let it dry. Once it's dry, we sand it to smooth, and then if you have textured walls like I do, you can just get a can of orange peel texture and just spray it on and let that dry. And I've got one more nasty little job that I am not looking forward to, but it must be done. So now it's time for that nasty little job that I've been trying to avoid. So we have 3 cracked tiles and they're right in the middle, and I would love nothing more than to just throw a rug over them and forget about it, but I'd always know that I renovated my bathroom and didn't take care of this problem. So we're going to be using this. It's an oscillating tool. I have put on a diamond blade that's specially designed for getting rid of grout. I won't need to cut any tile. I just need to pop these ones out and put new ones in. So this is a really dusty job. So I'm going to try to film a little bit of it in the beginning to kind of show you what we're going to be doing. And then I'm going to probably shut this door and contain the mess to this room. Safety glasses, face masks are a must. Okay, so we've got the grout pretty much out. We're gonna start by trying to pop out this tile right here, and we're gonna put something over the top of it, and then I'm just gonna take a sledgehammer to it and maybe try to break it up a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. All right, I want to get this job over with, so I'm pulling out the big ends, but it's too small of a space to record this, so bye. So upon removing the tile, I discovered what I believe was the cause of the crack. There was a gap where two sections from our foundation meet up, and so I just take some of our mastic that we're going to be using for our tile, and I fill in that crack and allow that to dry. And then I back butter 3 tiles that we are going to be placing into the space with my trowel and place them where I want them. And then I kind of tape it off with some blue painter's tape to make sure they stay in place while it dries, and also to act as a reminder not to step on it until it's ready. We've let our tile sit for almost 24 hours. It's almost ready to grout, but I'm gonna let it sit up a little bit longer while we paint the walls. So we're gonna paint 3 of the walls, but this one wall behind where the toilet and the sink will go, I've got something fun planned for there. Now I'm gonna be painting my walls in a Revere pewter, which is a grayish color that's in the rest of my house. I already had it on hand, so it didn't cost me any additional money, and I think it will act like a neutral backdrop for all of the other fun stuff that I've got planned for this bathroom. I don't use painter's tape. I find that it takes a lot longer, and I just don't like using it. So we are getting to the good stuff now. You can see that I've turned off the lights in here, and that's because we are about to remove the old light fixture, and that's because we are going to be installing a faux brick wall, and we're going to do kind of a light German schmear on it. I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how to install a light fixture just because I'm not a licensed electrician. I feel comfortable doing my own electrical work, but we're going to remove the light fixture, and then we're going to make it safe for us to work. We don't want any live wires. We'll just probably leave the power off on that for a second. I'm so excited. I got my brick paneling at the Home Depot because I feel like their wall panel looks a little bit more realistic. I got 2 sheets, and then I went ahead and had Home Depot make one of my long cuts for me. I kind of sketched out my wall and have my dimensions and where I need to make additional cuts. Where the light fixture was, I found a bowl that was about the same dimensions, and I used that to trace around where we need to cut. Then I made all of my cuts. Now it's time to install my brick paneling on my wall. It's tight fit back here, but I'm gonna try to show you what I'm doing. We're just gonna be very generous with this liquid nails. I'm hoping this will help support it. The first piece was kind of big and kind of awkward to hold up and screw in at the same time. You can't see it in this frame, but my husband was actually holding up the panel from the bottom while I screwed it in on the top. When you're installing the paneling, you're going to want to try to hit as many studs as you possibly can to hold it into place. For this, I needed a quick break. So I decided to go ahead and grout my tile. And I just decided to kind of re-grout the whole entire room with fresh grout. The next day I came back and finished the bottom portion of my brick paneling. I just used the leftover of my second panel piece to fill in the area, since most of it was going to be covered up by the toilet and vanity, and it worked out great. I am pretty excited about our brick wall here, our faux brick wall. And the only way I would do faux brick paneling is if we did a German schmear. And the reason for that is because it's really hard to hide some of these screws, but it's not if you're doing a German schmear, because you're gonna go over the entire thing with kind of like a whitewash, and then it's gonna make it look a little bit more realistic. But already it has just made this boring bathroom so much cooler. We're gonna just use this fast dry premium spackling with a big putty knife, and we're just gonna wipe it on really easy. I've never done this before, but I've heard that you can't mess it up, so I'm hoping that's the case. Let's give it a try, we'll see. I'm liking this. Cool, this looks so cool. It really was as easy as everyone says. You just kind of wipe it on and make sure the joint compound gets into all of the crevices and covers up all of your screws. And for the most part, I just wiped this on in a 45-degree angle, kind of doing a crisscrossing motion. Just wipe off as much as you want or leave on as much as you want. Bonus, it's a really good arm workout. After I let it fully dry, I came back in with polyurethane in a matte finish and do a coat over it. Since this is for a bathroom and I want to be able to wipe it down if needs be. After all, I am a boy mom. You feel me? And then we just let that fully dry. So we've got the light installed, and how about those light bulbs? Are they not the coolest? They actually look like kind of an extension of the light fixture. The light fixture was super inexpensive. I'm gonna link that for you. I got it off of Amazon. And also off of Amazon, I got this really cool faucet that we're gonna install right now so that we can hook up our brand new vanity, which I got at Lowe's, and I will have links for everything. So I'm super excited about how this is looking so far. I pulled out my vanity from the wall and installed the faucet prior to installing the rest of it, which definitely made things easier. As I said before, I did all of the plumbing myself, and I'm definitely not going to give a tutorial on how to do that. But several days later now, everything is still holding up really well, and there are absolutely no leaks. So I'm very happy with the end result. And once we got all the plumbing situated, I screwed the cabinet into the wall. All right, we have worked really hard on this bathroom. So I decided to switch out the toilet because the original one was kind of like this ivory color, and it was just really not working. I think it would have really bugged me for a long time. So I did buy a new white toilet. I assembled and installed it myself. I didn't get that on camera. I'd never done it before, but it worked out. Now we get to do all of the fun stuff. I cannot wait to show you the final reveal, so let's get doing all those final details. This mirror is from Home Goods. These shelf brackets I am using, I got off of Amazon, and I'm just using some scrap wood from my pile as the shelves, and I antiqued them using the same antiquing wax that I used on my wash your hands sign and my cell phone toilet paper holder. So it's all gonna coordinate. You just wanna make sure that everything is level and lined up. Then we so easily hang our fresh and clean typography sign. Then it's time for some of those finishing touches, including our DIYs that we made in this episode and a previous one. Thank you for your patience. Now it's time to show you the bathroom. I am so thrilled with how this bathroom turned out. We did it on a relatively small budget, especially since we replaced pretty much everything in here. It's amazing. I kind of want to hang out here now. From being the most boring room in the house to now probably one of the most interesting. It's been quite a transformation. My original budget was $750. I did end up going a little bit over when I bought a new toilet, but I'm so glad I did. And how about this amazing faucet? Isn't that just the coolest? I never used this bathroom before. I was actually kind of embarrassed by it, but now it's almost too pretty to use. So now this bathroom is just to look at and not to actually use. This bathroom is boring. It is so vanilla. There's really nothing exciting going on with it, but with a few very strategic changes, we can really make it look spectacular. And many of the ideas that I'm going to be sharing with you today in this episode are renter friendly. So if you don't own a home, you're going to want to watch this as well. To do it on a very tight budget, we're going to try to stay sub $300 and transform it in a way that will take it from boring to wow. The first thing we're going to do is start with a little bit of demo. So these towel bars and toilet paper holders are about my least favorite things in the whole world. Not only are they not attractive, but they are a pain to remove. So we are gonna remove this. We are gonna leave this just because I don't know what kind of damage it will do on the tile, and I am leaving the tile as is. And we'll try to zhuzh it up a little and make it look good. So this is going, the toilet paper holder is going, but what we're gonna do is we are going to score around the outside to kind of break that caulking seal. And I'm pretty sure that this is just like liquid nailed onto this wall. It's just such a mess, but we're gonna make it look like it never happened. So this is just like the cheapest plastic ever. Then we're gonna take a little spatula, whatever this is, and hammer it up. Okay, let's see what kind of damage we're dealing with. Well, just about what I expected. See, giant hole in the wall. Now we're gonna just remove the second one. Just get your spatula underneath, tap it in. Okay, same process here. Even though this damage is pretty significant, we can make it look like it never happened before, and that is what I'm going to show you how to do next. Now, I include this same process in my last bathroom renovation episode because it's such a good trick to have in your back pocket. The idea is to make it stronger by adding a piece of lumber to support the patch. This time around, the teepee holder was a bit different because it did have a stud on the left-hand side, which was not the case in my other one. But I decided to go ahead and still screw in a scrap piece on the other side to give it more support. Then I just pick up a small piece of drywall at the home improvement store in the same thickness of my original drywall, cut it down to size, and screw it down to the wood. Then I use mesh tape and lay it over the entirety of the patch. Then I cover it all with joint compound. I started out with a small putty knife, but then ended up using the back of a tile trowel to kind of smooth it out a little bit better. Then we're gonna let that fully dry and then sand it out to smooth. And then to kind of get rid of some of the dust, we're gonna wipe it with a very lightly damp rag. Then if you have orange peel texture like I do, go ahead and get a can of orange peel texture and you kind of spray that on, and make sure you have something below to protect your floors. If you do get a spot that doesn't look quite right on your drywall, just wipe it down and try again. We'll let that dry thoroughly and then we'll come back a little bit later and paint it. With the patches drying, we're gonna move on to the vanity, and this part might not work if you're in the rental, but if you can do something with your vanity, your landlord allows you, I've got a plan. And if you hear Dolly whining in the background, it's because she's in the bathtub. She wants to be with mom, but there's a lot going on the floor right now and things I don't want her to get into, so she is not happy. Anyway, so I want to kind of replicate what we've done in my last bathroom renovation and kind of give it like a shiplap look. And to do that, we are going to go rip down some of this masonite into strips, and we're gonna kind of fill in the side and the door fronts. Zoe, it's okay. Here, I'll hold her. Maybe she'll be happier now. So we're gonna create some shiplap out of this masonite. It's very inexpensive. You can get an entire 4x8 foot sheet of this for $11. So we're gonna go outside, we're gonna cut it down. Mama got a new toy. I have wanted a table saw for a long time. So we're gonna just rip down this wood. This is scrap wood that I had, and we are gonna cut these down into just shy of 4.5 inch width. I've got this to help me kind of push it through, so that will be good. I plan to keep my fingers completely away from the blade. I'm gonna put on my safety glasses and let's fire it up for the first time. Covered in dust, but that was so awesome. That made that such a quick work. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. Okay, so we are ready to address this. The first thing we're gonna do is remove all of the hardware. So we're just gonna pull this off, and then, because I've got different hardware in mind, so. And if you're renting, then you're just gonna wanna hang on to these and put them in a little Ziploc baggie. Make sure you keep the screws, and then you can just replace them when you move out. Okay, so we made these a little narrow, but I think we can still make it work. We're just gonna have to space them out strategically, but if you redo this, just make sure you make it a little tighter than I did. Now, because this wood is kind of thin, I'm deciding to forgo nails, and we're gonna use some really heavy-duty construction adhesive. This product is very light, and I think it will be fine, especially once we seal it in with some paint. So all we're gonna do is take some liquid nail and squeeze it on, cover it up, and we are going to set this on from the bottom and then just kind of wiggle it back and forth, and then we're going to actually separate it and then put it back on. That looks kind of good, and then once we're happy with the actual placement, we will tape everything into place. Okay, so I wanted to explain what I did for the side panel here. So I put my measuring tape down and measured it to 28 3/4 inch, and then I kind of laid them all out, and then I determined exactly how wide the panels should be to get an even fill top to bottom, and it ended up being 4 inch. So I took about 1/2 inch off of each one of these, and now we're going to get them all the right length, which is this kind of shorter length, and then we will go glue them on. All the way up here. So while the caulking is drying on our cabinet prior to painting, I wanted to do something to this light fixture. Now, I've pretty much mostly disassembled this. I took off the little finials on the top and on the end because it was the wrong style and I wanted to change it up. Now, I want to mostly do this in place. I don't want to have to mess with electrical. I'm going to start by taking some steel wool and kind of roughing up the finish on this because we are going to paint it. and kind of give it a more industrial look. Once we've got this roughed up, we're gonna loosen the screws that are kind of holding it into place to see if we can't pull it away from the wall just enough to tuck in some painter's tape behind it to kind of protect the wall. Okay, so that gives us a little wiggle room. We'll tighten those back up a little bit later. We're gonna just take a slightly damp cloth and kind of wipe off the dust and the steel wool. You gotta be a little careful. Don't have it totally saturated because we are kind of messing with some electrical that's still connected. But I think you'll be okay if you use just a very lightly damp cloth and don't get it near any of the actual electrical. I think we've got that pretty good. And now we're gonna take some painter's tape. We are gonna just kind of protect the wall. So we're gonna two-tone this and rub and buff, and I'm actually gonna put a glove on to kind of attempt to protect my finger, because you do use your finger to do it, but we're gonna actually use just a little rag. And yeah, I'm gonna start with the black. I'm gonna start with this underneath here. I am gonna probably do these little buttons in gold, but not yet. So we'll start with this ebony colored rub and buff. See how it goes. Hopefully it sticks on. So I can kind of see that we're probably going to need to do 2 coats. So this first one will kind of act as a primer, and then we'll go back in. As I'm doing this, you could probably use a black chalk paint too. I think that could also work for the black part. Okay, we're gonna let that set. I'm gonna go get a different rag for the gold, and then we'll do the gold. Towards the end, I'll probably tape it off and really get fine detailing, but for right now, we're just doing like a rough coat. Okay, so we'll just do this to all of them, and then of course, we're gonna hit these. I'll probably take these off completely and get them really good at the end, but hopefully you can kind of see what's going on. For the black, I decided to just go ahead and try some chalk paint just to see. So I know this is looking kind of rough right now, but I can really see the potential. I'm getting really excited. I think this is gonna turn out just like I hoped, but it definitely needs 1, possibly 2 more coats. Okay, so the next idea of mine seems a little harebrained, a little crazy, but I actually think it's gonna work. I wanted to kind of make this light fixture look similar to the other light fixture that in my last bathroom renovation without getting a new light fixture. And this wasn't gonna work with that look, but when I was looking for replacements, I was kind of looking for a black one, a metal one to kind of mimic the one downstairs. And then I realized, you know, the shape of it wasn't that different from what we already had. But these are just a frosted white glass. So I thought it was worth a try to spray paint these. My only concern is maybe how it would interact with the light bulb. So we are going to spray paint these black. While I am already spray painting things, I spray paint the shower curtain bar and some inexpensive curtain rings in the matte black to kind of match the look we're going for. I also spray paint some extra hardware I had left over from another project, and I know that I'm spray painting this gold hardware gold, but it was just not quite the right color of gold, and so I decided to get it matched up much better. There was still some glue residue remaining from the sticker, so I take some rubbing alcohol to remove this. Now I'm ready to paint. and they were out of the regular cabinet enamel that I typically use, and they said that this enamel would also work. I got a paint color called Caviar, and it's the same color as my front door, but when I opened the can, I was in for a huge surprise. This is making me nervous. Looks dark gray, but it's supposed to be black. I start by painting 3 coats on the back side, and then I flip it over and do 4 coats on the front. You'll notice that I skipped priming. I would never tell anybody not to prime. That's definitely best practice, but I did scuff it up beforehand, and I believe that between the fact that I'm using enamel paint and with all of those layers of paint, after it fully cures, it will hold up just fine, but only time will tell. With the vanity drying, I move on to painting the walls. We've done a lot of painting, but painting really does make a huge difference. It's been kind of a long day. We've been painting up a storm. We've got a lot accomplished, but now before I call it a night, I want to install a renter-friendly wallpaper, and it's so cute. Do you see that? It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's kind of like a herringbone pattern, and it's removable. It's peel and stick, and I have never actually worked with, I've just used regular wallpaper in the past, so this will be a new experience for me. I'm hoping that it goes good. I got this off of Amazon for, I don't know, it was like $6 or $7 a roll, which is crazy cheap. So I'm excited to hang this. So let's rock and roll. Getting up that first panel was quite the job. I think just getting it started and going around these tricky corners is gonna be the most difficult part. To do the pattern repeat, you just flip it over and do it the opposite direction, and it creates that kind of zigzag herringbone pattern that we're going for. So I'm just gonna keep working around the tricky stuff, and then once we get to this area, it should be a whole lot easier. Thank heavens. Now that our paint has dried overnight, I rehang the cabinet doors and add our gold hardware. I believe hardware is the jewelry of the room, and I just love this. The light fixture was the surprise win of the bathroom, transforming it and giving it a totally different look with just a little paint and some ginormous light bulbs that I picked up from Home Depot, and I will link below. It gave this fixture a shocking transformation that I absolutely love. Hang a gold mirror that I picked up from IKEA using the popular painter's tape hack, where you mark that your hanging brackets on the back side of the mirror, and then you take that tape and transfer it to where you plan on hanging it, and then you make sure it's level. Then you add some drywall anchors so it's nice and secure. This hack makes such quick work of it. Next, I take some shelf brackets I bought off of Amazon and began to attach them to the wall, but I quickly realized that their drywall anchors that were included are the worst I've ever used. They literally pushed right through when I tried to add the screws, so I pulled out some much better ones that I had on hand, and they worked out great. Then it was time for some shelves that I pulled out of my scrap pile, added a little white wax for a kind of Scandinavian finish, and this is white chalk paint mixed with clear wax, so it also acts as a protectant to the wood. I didn't even have to cut them down. They were just the perfect size at 10 inches by 18 inches, and I make sure that they are nice and level once they're screwed down. And now it's time for all of the finishing details, light at the end of the tunnel. Dolly likes the rug. We worked really hard and now it's time for the reveal, so let's go in. Thrilled with this bathroom renovation. It turned out so good. I shopped my house. I was very smart about the decisions that I made. I used scrap wood where I could, and it all came together for around $300. And then we've got the removable wallpaper. So if you're renting, that is such a good trick. We didn't switch out any of the big items. We kept the vanity. You would never know because we upgraded it, but it looks like a brand new purchased piece. And then we upgraded our contractor grade lighting. You would never guess that as well. It looks like something that we bought out of a showroom. I am so thrilled with this bathroom and I hope you like it too. We are back in my bathroom here and it is finally time to do the extreme makeover. This thing, if you were wondering what this blue tape was behind me, this is kind of the original plan. So I've come up with a plan. This is it, but it has like a center console unit. Now, originally I wanted to bring it out quite far, 10 to 12 inches, but after like thinking it through and because of where the sinks are placed, I have got to be very strategic. So I felt like by making it a little bit shallower, it wouldn't like mess up with like the centering of things as much. So right now the sink is lined up all the way with the light fixtures above. Because of the center console, it kind of shifts everything to the left on this side and shifts everything to the right on the other side. What I'm going to end up doing is I am going to leave the sinks alone, but we are going to move the lights slightly to center over a mirror, but our sinks will be slightly off center. So my plan is to put in a granite ledge right here. But the problem is then that will prevent me from pulling like the sink plugs up. And so what we're gonna do instead is we are gonna switch out the faucets here and we're gonna have a sink stopper that is like a pop-up. So all you have to do is like push it down and pop it up right from here and you don't have to lift this up and then that's not impeded. Okay, so my plumbing situation is about as cheap as you can get. We've already run into a problem. These are called angle stops. Anyways, these are crimped down. They're just the worst. And they're not that safe and we can't change your faucet with them on. So while I contemplate what to do about that, whether I want to do it myself or whether I want to hire it out, we're going to clean and get ready for paint on the walls. We've got to remove some stuff off the walls, and I'll contemplate what I want to do in that situation. Then I'll let you know.
I'm just staring at my walls and talking to myself now and then.
Yes, and the Mona Lisa will stay. She's coming back. Everybody thought it was so odd that I put the Mona Lisa in the bathroom, but I liked it, so oh well.
Said we loved one another, guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer, our love was out of control. I've been going crazy without you, I'm so alone. I met you in the
Okay, so after mulling it over, I've decided to hire a handyman to come take care of the plumbing. I just didn't want to mess around with it this time. This is the pashmina color here. I didn't love it with the tile. It was just too gray, a little darker than I wanted to go. So I ended up going with pale oak. Let's get painting. We're gonna paint the bulk of the room. I am gonna stop right about here because I'm not gonna need to paint behind the vanity yet because we've got a little treatment that we're gonna be doing there. But we're gonna just go ahead and get rid of this kind of buttery yellow walls that I don't really love, and we're gonna replace it with something that looks a little bit better. So let's get it on the wall. Pop in here because I know the color is really like similar in like lightness, and it may not look like I'm doing much, but if you look at the tone and when it's all said and done, I swear it's gonna look so much different and so much better. Unless you're a guy. My husband's probably gonna come in and be like, you painted?
Cause honestly, don't wanna be stuck in boring conversations with you. I'm gonna leave it all behind, find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah.
Okay, so this does not happen to me very often. I really love this color. I just don't think it's working in this particular room. It's a little more cool than I want. And I did want to neutralize and get rid of some of that buttery yellow undertones that were on the wall while still keeping it in the same level of lightness. I've selected a new color called Manchester Tan. It's actually pretty close to the original paint color, which is crazy, but I would say it's more neutralized. There's less yellow in it, more neutral, but it's gonna match the tiles in here a bit better. And so we are gonna just get painting again. It happens, live and learn.
I have to be somewhere else to be able to find myself. Shouldn't be so complicated. If I listen to my heart, I'm gonna leave it all behind. Find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now.
I absolutely love it. Look at this. It's actually not that much different, but it makes all the difference in the world. Love it. Okay, so we are gonna remove the faucet using this little tool here. It will help me unscrew it very easily and screw it back on when we're all said and done. So we're gonna do that now.
I don't want to be dragged in my box. I just wanna go my own way. 'Cause I am on my way.
Hallelujah, we did it. My husband had to come tighten this up a little bit more for me, but that's just because I was super exhausted. So we did it though, together.
I've been hanging on, counting days, thinking it was me all along. Had a million conversations in my head about where it went wrong. And I've got no idea where you've been, who you are, not anymore.
Okay, so we got our granite installed. It is super solid. It was installed with 100% silicone. It has a 50-year warranty, so it's not going anywhere. Before we install our shiplap backsplash, which will go all the way up to the ceiling, we need to adjust our light fixtures to compensate for the little middle tower and center over the new mirrors. And so I've turned off the power, and I'm just gonna move the electrical over just enough that it will be in its new spot, and then we'll install our shiplap.
One more drink to swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind. But nobody said it was easy. Maybe I should have known. I've been out till late, shifting beds, trying to kill the image of you. Got a million stupid reasons not to call. It's just that I want to. Do you remember how we pulled the drapes in the basement to get away from the world that we couldn't fit in, and how we used.
Okay, I ran into some issues with the electrical wire being too short, so I'm consulting my brother-in-law, who's a master electrician, to get his advice. In the meantime, I'm gonna work on this one, which is absolutely fine.
But I just couldn't let you down time and time again. It wasn't my intention. Maybe we should have been friends. So you're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should have known. One more drink to swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind.
Okay, you'll notice that it's a little wobbly. That is the way we want it, because we're still gonna try to slide in our shiplap behind it and all of that, so I didn't want to put it on tight, but we're gonna test it out now. Here goes nothing. Yes! We have working electrical. We did it. Now we can move on. Now we've got plenty of space for our cabinet. So here's where we're at. We installed our shiplap on the back. We got it around our light fixtures. That was a little tricky. You know, one thing with this project is it has been a lot of like little hoop jumping here. No major catastrophes or anything, but it's one that's like every little step has had a little bit of an issue. And this is the times when a lot of people might want to quit. I know I felt that at a moment, but if you press on and we keep going, we're gonna see the results. And so that's what we're gonna do next. We are finally to the part that has had me so excited this whole time, and that is the center console area. So we are gonna go outside, get powerful, and build that ourselves, and I'm gonna show you what we do out there. Okay, so I believe this is a 1 by 12 by 8 feet tall, and I originally got it 12 inches deep because that was the original size of the cabinet that I wanted to do, but then I felt like it was gonna over exaggerate the fact that the sinks are not centered and aligned with everything. So that's when I decided to scale it back and make it a lot more shallow. So we're gonna cut this down to 7 inches. Then we are going to cut it down to the height that we need from the countertop to the ceiling. So we're gonna just rip it down on my table saw. And you'll have to excuse the mess. It's time for another cleanup. Okay, so now we're gonna cut some shelves. Okay, so one of our infamous afternoon Florida showers just came through and cooled things down for me. I am so grateful for that. Rained for about 15 minutes, but the humidity is so much lower now and it feels good. So now we are gonna go ahead and assemble our shelf unit. We are going to put some pocket holes using this little contraption. So I will just line it up with the edge and then put in like 2 pocket holes on each side. So we're gonna put 2 on each side and we're gonna do this to all of them. Okay, so this is our design plan, but on the back I have kind of mapped out what we're doing. So we're gonna do a bunch of little tiny shelves just because I think this will be holding mostly like medication, beauty products. So we're gonna mark out where we want our shelves to go and then start attaching them. Okay, so about every 7.5 inches we are going to put a shelf. So these are, like I said, gonna be kind of closer together. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to attach at least 2 shelves so that we can go do a dry fit and make sure that everything is still correct. This is a pocket hole like bit, and this is a pocket hole screw. Usually they come a bit longer, but we're working in kind of a tight space, so I'm using a smaller bit that I purchased. So we will go ahead and attach one of them, just kind of clamp it into place, and we'll go to that point. I tried it out, it does fit. We're gonna put in the rest of the shelves, and I decided to go ahead and use these corner brackets since I have them. I'm hoping it will be helpful.
You know it still hurts a little bit, but not that much. 'Cause if you want somebody else, who am I to judge? I've been thinking about you all the time, but that's alright. I'm starting to get used to it.
It started pouring, but I have one last shelf to do, so I'm doing it right here, but I took my camera in.
It was cold, said we loved one another. Guess that we're wrong. I met you in the summer.
Okay, so we've worked really hard. We built our carcass of our cabinet, and now we're gonna attach it to the wall. I was planning on priming it outside, but the weather is not cooperating, so we'll just install it, trim everything out, and then we'll prime and paint everything that needs that. So I can't wait, we're making good progress.
It's kind of quiet in my room right now without you, and I couldn't really make you stay, so what to do?
Okay, so I don't want to leave this exposed, so I've got some trim here that will nail on, and it will cover it right up.
Away from you, I met you in the summer when you.
Okay, so we've got our face framing on, and now it's time to build our cabinet door. And I did a full in-depth tutorial recently on how to do that, and it's a super easy, totally doable hack, and you're definitely gonna wanna check out that video. I'm not gonna do a full tutorial because you can just go check that one out, and I highly recommend it. So we're gonna get building this one. Okay, so I want to put crown molding up on top, but I don't like crown molding. I mean, I like it, I don't like to do it. So I have a crown molding hack that we're gonna do, where we're gonna take this decorative molding that I found, and then we're gonna stack it with a quarter round like this, and it's gonna give us the illusion of crown molding without all the math. So that's what we're gonna do now. So we are gonna just miter out the edge, and for the front piece, you're gonna miter out both sides. I'm doing a side piece right now, so we're gonna just miter the one side. Okay, so we've got that, and then we need to take our measurement and do a straight cut here. Okay, so that's our piece, and then we'll do the quarter round upstairs with our miter shears. So we are gonna attach this, and I've marked where it goes. So there's gonna be a little bit of a gap up here, but we're gonna close that with the quarter round. And so we're gonna just make sure this is lined up. Put on your safety glasses, because safe is sexy. And we will nail it into place. Then we're gonna take our quarter round and we are gonna layer it up. Fit it right in tight into that place. Make sure it lines up on either side. And doesn't that look just like crown molding? I'm just saying. And we didn't have to do all the crazy math that you have to do with crown molding. Then we just cut our trim with our miter shears on a 45. Then it will match up right here, but we gotta shorten it. Okay, it's looking good. Now it's just time for some caulk and putty so we can prep it for paint. Okay, so here's where we're at. The door fits, it looks great. It's obviously not hung yet. So now we're gonna just prime all the unfinished wood parts, and then we will start painting. Okay, so after a lot of debate, I kind of went back and forth. I tested out a bunch of samples here. I've decided to go with Pashmina. A lot of you really love that color and really voted for it. And I think that it is going to work with our new wall color the best. Super excited about that. Now that we've got everything primed and it's all dry, we are gonna now start painting our cabinets.
Stuck in boring conversations with you. I'm gonna leave it all behind. Find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
The paint is dry, it's looking really good. Now it's time to hang our cabinet door, and then we get to do all of the really fun stuff. The final touches. I'm so excited.
I'll be going away for a while. Oh, and I don't know what I'll find. Maybe I can be a rock star, playing songs on my guitar. I know I have to be somewhere else to be able to find myself. Shouldn't be so complicated. If I listen to my heart, I'm gonna leave it all behind. Find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now. 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 I'm on my way now.
All right, I am finished and I am thrilled with the final result.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
So I got these Roman shades and they just so happen to match the pashmina color, like almost identical. So that's kind of fun. See that?
No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight.
Okay, so this little ledge here is kind of cool because I could either just put my ring there while I'm washing my hands or put a toothbrush up there or whatever. It's just handy and kind of decorative and cute.
With you and I, the future is bright.
This bathroom is literally falling apart. It's like already coming up and it was never put on any kind of backer board. I don't know if that's normal, but it's definitely not good. Problem is I have basically no money to renovate it. We are gonna be doing our very best to give this bathroom new life, make it safe for one, and do it on a budget of $300. Can we do it? I don't know, let's get started. So I think this is gonna be really easy to tear up, but these pieces come out real simple. This is bad, this is gonna rip up, no problem. I have a little scraper and a rubber mallet. If you didn't have broken tiles, you would take the rubber mallet, hit it to break one up, and that would help you get it up. But I think this is gonna be pretty easy. As you can see, this is gonna be really, really easy. It's just basically crumbling at this point. And I can see it was on the subfloor. We will try to find something better than that. So here we go. Wow, it's just coming up, no problem. We've got a little bucket that we can put the pieces in, and we have a dumpster outside because we've been ripping out lots of stuff.
She promised me to never leave my side.
And if you can't get in on one angle, come in from a different angle. And you can also loosen it up by just tapping it. That'll break it up a little bit too.
'Cause I can't move on.
I'm hoping we don't find anything sketchy under this. We don't need any more problems. Whoa, that's just coming up so easy.
To know that she'd leave was
I don't think ripping up tile is supposed to be this easy. I mean, I've ripped up tile before and it was definitely not this easy. It's basically lifting up like it's nothing. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay, hit this to loosen it up a little bit with the rubber mallet. Okay, now I want you to come in from this way and kind of tap that underneath and lift it up.
Like that?
Well, not exactly, but that did the trick. Wow, you did it.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, let's load up this tile.
just tell me, why did she go?
That's all I've got in me for today. Tomorrow we'll lay the membrane and hopefully the tile. So the first thing we're gonna do is I got this transition strip. I'm gonna cut it to fit in this area right next to the carpet so that it has a nice transitioning piece. I mean, we could have just left it unfinished, but I think that this is just a little detail that will be a nice added touch. So we're gonna measure, then I've got these scissors, we're gonna cut it. It's like a heavy duty plastic, it's nothing crazy. And then I've got this underlayment because we're not gonna repeat their mistake of where they just laid it right on the subfloor. We are gonna do a water barrier, and I don't know what this is exactly called, but it's like a thin plasticky material that has a little bit of divots, so there's give and all of that. We're gonna cut that to fit, and we'll go to that point. Fits. I did kind of piecemeal it here together, but I think once we get like the thin set and everything in there, that will be fine, and it's behind the toilet as long as everything's kind of sealed together. And they do touch, it looks like it doesn't, but it's kind of just curling up on the edge, so it'll be good. So I'm going to pre-cut all of my tiles just so that once we do the underlayment, we can do it all in one fell swoop. We'll get the thin set and attach our underlayment, and then we'll immediately lay the tiles so that it can set up. I decided to pre-cut all the tiles so when it came time to lay them, it would be more efficient. I numbered and labeled them so I knew where they went at reinstall. All right, it's time to start laying the tile and setting everything down. I'm not a professional tiler, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Let's get going. Right here you can see me sponging down the subfloor with water prior to putting thin set down. And this is because it's supposed to help everything adhere better so that the dry subfloor does not suck out all of the moisture from the thin set. Don't use rapid set thin set if you're a beginner. That's all I'll say. It's gonna be fine, but yeah, that is too crazy, and I'm gonna waste all that because I just am not fast enough. So there you go. This is a metaphor for how things are going. Not so good. Here's where we're at. I was able to get a few tiles in over here, but I did not want to continue on with the rapid set because it was just drying too fast. I was able to get it under here. I don't know if we recorded it very well. That underlayment is set, and then this is what the rapid set looks like. And then I just mixed some traditional right there. That looks way better to me, and I think it will give me a little bit more work time. So we're gonna finish out the tile. We've back buttered this, and now we're gonna lay it over here. Make sure that I do it the right direction. It's a very messy job here. After letting the mortar dry up for 24 hours, I removed the labels and proceeded to grout. Now, as you grout, you do some cleanup along the way, but the following morning there's always a little bit of grout haze on the tile, and the best way to clean that up is with window cleaner. Next up is some cleanup and patchwork prior to painting. This red cabinet had its time, but that time has come and gone, and it's time for a new paint color, and I chose Sherwin-Williams Black Caviar, which is the black color that I use pretty much anytime you see me painting something black. It was so hot outside, it was almost drying instantaneously. I don't think this is ideal, so if we didn't have so much else going on everywhere, I probably would recommend doing this in a garage out of the 110-degree heat of the sun. Then I hand cut and painted the face frame of the cabinet. When we removed the old vanity light bar, we realized that the newly purchased light fixture would have been off-center when installed, but luckily my brother-in-law Jared, the electrician, was able to move that over to the side for me, but I then needed to patch the hole left behind. Finally, time for the room to get a fresh coat of paint. Because I was running low on time prior to the next step coming up, I painted where the light fixture was going to go first, and the second it was dry, I installed the new vanity light. So we got the walls painted, and that feels really nice. And then I also installed our new vanity light. It looks so much better than the builder grade one that was there. And we've done really good on staying on budget in here so far. However, we are about to go over our initial budget just a little bit because we decided that this bath I thought we could clean it to get it looking nice and new, and it just isn't cleaning up well. It's just dirty and it's not getting clean. So we have decided to invest $250 to have a professional come refinish this bathtub for us to get it looking brand new. It's the only one that we're gonna do in here, in this house, I mean. I think it's worth it. I think it really needs it, and I think it will really help this bathroom that we're spending a little bit less money on. Even though this is not the primary bathroom, we still need to give it a little bit love and attention, and I think it will be worth it in the end. It's ready. We can't be in here when he actually sprays because it's pretty toxic stuff, so you don't get to see the actual process, but you'll get to see the result. Oh my gosh, look at that. That looks amazing.
I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea.
Now it's time to finish up this project.
And I feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right.
So here's the new mirror that we're going to be putting in, and here is the existing medicine cabinet that just doesn't work, so I'm going to paint it black.
I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare. take you there. I would give it all away to do it all again. Make our love a story that would never end. Never thought I'd feel so alive, looking in your eyes. I just wanna love you till the day I die. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare. And I wanna take you there. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare. And I wanna take you there.
Okay, this bathroom renovation is done and I'm a little hair on fire. I think I have a new gray hair right there because I am leaving in less than 48 hours and I have a whole bunch else to do. But before I get started on that, I just want to talk really quickly about what we did in here. So probably the biggest thing that we did was rip out that cracked and decrepit tile that was falling into pieces. There was no underlayment, and so we put in a proper underlayment to waterproof it, and then we laid our tile. So this was the first time that I have laid a brand new floor with the proper underlayment and all of that. I have replaced, chipped out and replaced tiles in an existing floor, but this is starting from brand new. It was challenging, but we did it and it looks really, really good. We changed the baseboards out. We added a new towel bar. Of course, we painted. We added a new mirror and then a new light fixture. The new light fixture was only $39.99. With the addition of the Edison bulb, it really dresses up this bathroom space. So did I stay on my original $300 budget? Well, kind of. I would have stayed right on that $300 budget had we not decided to go ahead and refinish the bathtub, but it just really needed it. That bathtub was just not gonna clean up at all. It was toast. And so we paid an additional $275 to do that, and I think it was money well spent. I think it's something that needed to happen in order to sell the house. So this is kind of cool. So this is what the drain looked like, no plug. I found this on Amazon and it literally just sits on top and it's a pop-up and it works just by suction. Really cool, makes it look new. Now, you may have asked yourself, why on earth did I go to the effort of hanging a shower curtain if we're not really planning on staging the house and we're just planning on selling it empty? Well, let me show you. So I hung a shower curtain because we've got a dirty little secret. This tile right here was here. I didn't want to go to the effort of redoing all the damage that's been caused. This was poorly laid. It's always been this way. I did not do this. This is not my handiwork. And I kind of wanted to hide and distract that. And by putting a shower curtain Here, I'm hoping that they'll look beyond that. I just didn't feel like if we went to all the effort that was gonna make a really big difference. There was just so many other things we were doing. So that's why they need to see it, what it could be. We are going to be doing the master bathroom. Now, this room is actually not one of the worst in the house. It's really going to come down to time and budget, what we're going to be able to accomplish in this makeover. The flooring is not terrible, but it's not nice either. It's a very builder grade bathroom overall, so I'd like to elevate it a little bit. And if I can do the flooring, time and money will really determine whether I do that or not. I would also really love to switch out the vanity because it is a little bit lower. Even though I did like a makeover on it 12 or so years ago, it feels a little on the builder grade side, so we may switch this out. What I definitely want to do is repaint all of the walls, put in maybe a couple of individual mirrors. I don't really want to switch out to 2 light fixtures because that will be electrical, but again, we'll just have to go with the flow. But ideally it would be really cool to split that up. The faucets are not in bad shape, so we may keep them. If I do switch out the vanity, I'm gonna really be looking for something that also has the countertop included in the vanity set, and I'd really love to find something maybe on Facebook Marketplace that was like an overstocked item or something that's in really good condition that just looks a little bit better than what's here. So let's get into it. It is time to demo this master bath. We're keeping tub and shower, but we're getting rid of the vanity, the flooring, mirror, and the light. It's all gotta go. So demo time means safety glasses, and these cute girls are coming soon. So stay tuned. Aren't they cute? Let's get demoing. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties shutting off one of the water lines. We're really struggling. We do not want water spouting everywhere. It's just one more water line. So hopefully we can get that off so we can get this vanity out. This literally took like 5 minutes to rip out all this tile. It actually might have been even easier than that small hall bath. It was barely on. It was so easy. With how like loose all the tiles are and everything, we got really, really lucky. There is only like very minor surface level mold that I can kill really easily with some bleach, and then we'll let it dry. But we're golden. The floors are prepared, and now it's time to start this tiling process. We're gonna do the Stratamat, and I am going to use the quick set adhesive again, or the mortar, because I read that if I make it a little bit runnier, it will last a little bit longer, and that way the mat will set up a little faster and we can lay tiles sooner. So all of that's really important because we're under a time crunch, and let's get started. Okay, it's time to lay the tile, and before we do so, we need to shorten up the door casing to allow for the tile to slide right under so we don't have to make a whole bunch of fancy cuts. So I've got an oscillating tool, and I'm gonna use the tile and a little piece of cardboard to allow some room for like the grout, and that's how we're gonna cut it. Okay, so we'll set that right there. Should have probably done this before we put the underlayment in. That should be good. So like in the hallway bath, I'm gonna do a dry lay so that everything is cut and ready to go, because I am going to be using a quick drying mortar, and that's because we're short on time. But I am gonna do smaller batches. I've studied up and I found that if you make it a little runnier than you think, that is the right consistency for facet. Still needs to be able to make the ridges, but I'll make smaller batches, and then it will be dry in about 2 to 3 hours and ready to grout. So that's really helpful for our tight time frame. For this weird piece that goes in the shower, we've got X is all going. I think once we grout, I'll caulk right around there and it will look way better. It took a lot longer than I wanted it to cut all of these because of the crappy tile saw, but we're ready to lay it.
Never thought it would be so hard. I grew up without a scar, just living my life with no big worries. And I've always known what I want without a scar, just living my life with no big worries. And I've always known what I want, just didn't know what came along. Finding myself a much less happy. Back in the days I used to dream about.
It's finally time to grout. Let's do this. We're gonna mix the grout with my Athena drill. Looks like a potion.
I care about them, though it hurts so bad. I wanna stay wide open, 'cause if I shut down, it just gives them right. I wanna stay wide open. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Okay, so we have a little problem here. These are off just ever so slightly. Many years ago, I painted it from brass to this kind of brushed nickel look. Rather than go out and try to find some paint to match it or even get rub and buff, I already have some white paint on hand, and I think I'm just gonna make it white to match the vanity and save myself some money.
Life is free, but it's overwhelming how people can hate on me. Don't wanna care about them, though it hurts so bad. I wanna stay wide open, 'cause if I shut down, it just gives them right.
Okay, it's really late at night, but I have less than 48 hours left here in Arizona, and I'm going home. I'm not extending again. So the show must go on. Since it's kind of dark, I think it's only appropriate that we now address the light fixture. Now, I decided to keep the chrome bar because I thought it had a lot of style and I thought it was totally usable, and we tied that in with the beautiful faucets that we've got. I also have a toilet paper holder that matches, and it's all gonna tie together really nicely in here. But I felt like the shades on it were dating it, and so what I did is I ordered some glass covers. They're very similar to the ones that I used in the other bathroom, and so we are gonna put these on now, and then we're also going to be using some Edison bulbs to just give it a nice contemporary look. Again, I didn't spend any money on the light fixture itself, just the shades and some new light bulbs, so we're gonna do that now. Even though I don't think these new light bulbs are going to blind me, I don't think I have light rings to get our lights on with. I gotta go find them or go to Home Depot. Yep. They got thrown out. That wasn't very smart of me. Let's go to Home Depot.
My outdated doubts. Somebody do me the courtesy, dress me down.
I'm going in through the exit because I'm a rebel. I'm not really a rebel, but I'm going through the exit into the store.
Not stand my ground.
I see the light. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm leaving empty-handed because they don't have them. I'm gonna go dig through the trash, honestly.
Now take back all them hard words. I'm a grown man.
Not in the trash, so it turns out I should have listened to the DIY wife the whole time and gone to Lowe's. They have 4 in stock at Lowe's. It's like 9 o'clock right now, and I am going. We're gonna get this done.
Won't have nothing on us. No, we'll be hard.
I happen to know that it's on aisle 8, so here we go. Better be there. They're supposed to have 4, they only have 3. No, 3 is not enough. I need 4. They were supposed to have 4. I'll take my 3 and maybe hit up another Lowe's tomorrow. I'm calling it a night. Well, not a night. I'm gonna still go work on the bathroom. A couple of exits down, there's another Lowe's, and they supposedly have 6. So I've got like 20 minutes to get there before they close. I am getting my freaking light things. Literally the last one. It only took an hour of my life that I didn't have to give, but I got the last one. All right. That was a lot of work, but the one thing I really miss about this place is it's literally close to everything. Everything is like 5 to 10 minutes away, I swear. So please fit, please fit. So whoever gets this house is gonna have that convenience.
'Cause she left me here alone.
All right. Wrong one. Whoa. Yes. Perfect. Okay, so moving on. We've got light now. We're going to attach the backsplash and caulk everything.
To know that she'd leave was out naive, to think that she'd be the one.
We have a very crooked wall. Oh my gosh. There's gonna be a huge gap. I'm gonna have to use a ton of caulk.
Was I supposed to know that she'd leave?
So this is gonna take a ton of caulk on the back here, and I'll probably have to come redo it tomorrow after it dries. But I put blue painter's tape in there just so I don't make a horrific mess. Oh my gosh, this is gonna take more than one tube. Not a whole lot I could do, honestly.
Why did she go? Was I supposed?
Pull this back while it's still wet. When that dries, it might cave in, so I might have to redo that tomorrow, but we'll leave it for tonight. Looks pretty good.
It was your crooked little smile that caught my eye. Time went by and it was her and I. She promised me to never leave my side, but she left me here alone. I know it's dumb, I still check my phone 'cause I can't move on. Whoa. Why did she go? Whoa. Was I supposed to know that she'd leave? Was I naive to think that she'd be the one? Whoa. Just tell me, why did she go?
All right, it's time to hang the mirror. I only made a few extra holes.
Why did she go?
Here's a fun little hack for you that you've probably seen around. This is kind of thinner toilet paper, but this will still work. All you need to do is kind of fold this into a triangle and then turn on the water, turn it off, it's still damp, and just press it under, and then you've got a sealed, stamped toilet paper roll. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, here's another one that I think you'll like as well. And to all of my DIY goddesses, you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.